Good day, everyone, and all protocols are observed. Stand presenting before you today on the 5th of November is Luyanda Dlangamandla. 22167 112 is my student number. And today I'll be presenting under the topic of integrating diversity, equity, inclusion goals into human or diversity, equity, and inclusion metrics into HR practices. Today we'll be covering the five main HR practices that are applicable in any HR organization, in any HR department, which is workforce planning, recruitment, selection, and induction. So workforce planning. Starting off, we're going to start off with workforce planning. As we all know, workforce planning is a strategic process of aligning organizational workforce with organizational goals, which is to ensure that the right people with the right skills are at the right place at the right time. To ensure that the DIE metrics are integrated with workforce planning, the management needs to take note of the following, which is to conduct a diversity audit, set specific measurable DIE goals that align with organizational objectives, regular track process toward DIE goals, and be prepared to adjust strategies as needed. Moving on to recruitment. Recruitment refers to the process of identifying and attracting and selecting, or that's recruitment and selection. But we will be looking at recruitment alone, and then on the next slide we'll be talking about selection. So recruitment refers to the process of identifying, attracting candidates to filling on open vacancies within that particular organization, to ensure that DI metrics are integrated into the recruitment process of the HR practices. Then the management take note of the following. The management needs to take note of the following: use inclusive language and post in diverse platforms to attract a wider range of candidates. Create hiring committees with diverse representation. Implement blind hiring practices to reduce bias. Blind hiring also, a brief explanation of blind hiring, which is or maybe in the CVs, if you receiving a number of CVs, that gender, race, and nationality, I think somewhere around those lines, need not to be mentioned on the CV. That's blind hiring. Moving on to selection. Selection refers to the steps of a company uses to find the right candidates for the open vacancies, which involves screening and moving through interviews and assessments, and concluding with background checks and final decision making and making an offer for the candidates. The key strategies to enforce DI metrics into the selection process is to reconsider your must-have criteria and focus on the transferable skills and the candidate's potential for growth. This may help identify candidates who may have been underrepresented. Moving on to induction. Induction is a process of introducing new employees into the organization. We all know that. So the integration of DIE goes in the induction processes. Companies' DIE goals, values, progress must be shared during orientation. The newly employed candidates must be introduced to the organization's ERGs, employee resource groups, to show a supportive community exists. Create a clear, safe process for candidates to provide feedback on their induction experience. Moving on to compensation management. Compensation management is an HR process that focuses on designing, implementing, and managing an organization's total compensation benefits programs to attract and retain, motivate, and encourage employees to stay in the organization. That's compensation management. That's basically talks about managing the compensation benefits or paying employees salaries, your car allowance, your home allowance, your medical aid, and everything, in ensuring that the employees within the organizations are happy and willing to achieve any objectives that are set by the organizations. So in ensuring that the DIE goals are or the DIE metrics are woven into the compensation management process, the management needs to take note of the following. Always ensure fair and equitable pay practices are prioritized. Regular audit compensations, performance reviews, and promotion processes to identify and address systemic biases. Include benefits that cater to diverse employees' needs. Consider DIE implications in pay decisions. Identify and address pay gaps. With open sight, the the management needs to make sure that if if ever or however the above mentioned topics are woven into the organization's DIE goals, the work environment will be fair and diverse, and everything will be smooth. The management will make sure even in the underrepresented groups, the management will make sure that they are catered for, and everyone doesn't lack the feeling of not belonging in any particular group. So we are closing off. It is very important to integrate DIE goals into the HR practices in ensuring the organizational success and the happiness or the feeling of belonging of employees. Thank you for the opportunity.